Have you ever really stopped to ask yourself, what does it mean to take perfect care of myself as I age? Not just staying alive or making it through the day, but truly taking care of your whole self, your body, your mind, your emotions, and even your sense of purpose. As we get older, self-care doesn't get easier. In many ways, it gets harder. Routines change, energy dips, motivation sometimes fades. But that doesn't mean we can't still thrive. In fact, with the right approach, you can feel more balanced, stronger, and more at peace in your later years than you ever expected. In this video, we're going to talk about what it really means to take perfect care of yourself as you age. And no, it's not about perfection in the way the world usually defines it. It's not about never having a bad day or always being in control. It's about developing the right habits, making wise choices, and creating a life that supports your health, your spirit, and your dignity. We'll walk through powerful, doable practices that can help you age with strength and clarity. Not fancy tricks, not expensive routines, just real things that work. Let's start with something simple but powerful: movement. As you age, movement becomes more important, not less. But many people slow down so much they forget how much the body still wants to move. You don't have to run marathons or lift heavy weights, but you do need to move every single day. Think about gentle stretches in the morning to wake up your joints, a short walk after lunch to keep your circulation going, light strength exercises a few times a week to protect your balance and independence. The key is to move in a way that feels right for your body today, not how it was 20 years ago. That might mean walking with a cane, doing chair yoga, or just dancing slowly to your favorite song in the kitchen. It all counts. The more you move, the more your body thanks you. And the less you move, the faster things decline. So don't wait until something hurts. Start now, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Next up, let's talk about nourishment. Eating well in older age isn't about strict diets or trendy plans. It's about eating foods that support your energy, your digestion, and your overall comfort. Focus on meals that are easy to prepare, easy to digest, and make you feel good afterward. Simple dishes with vegetables, healthy fats, lean proteins, and whole grains are ideal. You don't have to be a gourmet chef. A bowl of soup, a handful of berries, or a slice of whole grain toast with avocado can be just what your body needs. And let's not forget hydration. As you age, your sense of thirst becomes less reliable. That means you might not feel thirsty even when your body really needs water. So make it a habit. A glass of water with every meal, some herbal tea in the afternoon, and something to sip before bed can do wonders for your energy and mental clarity. It's not about drinking gallons. It's about being intentional and consistent. Let's move on to rest. Rest isn't just about sleeping at night. It's about giving your mind and body the breaks they need throughout the day. But yes, let's start with sleep. A regular sleep routine, going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, can dramatically improve how you feel. Your brain and body love rhythm. When your schedule is unpredictable, your sleep suffers, and so does your memory, mood, and energy. Create a calming bedtime routine. Maybe that's turning off screens an hour before bed, dimming the lights, reading something peaceful, or simply sitting quietly. And during the day, allow for short rest periods. That might be sitting in the sun for 10 minutes or closing your eyes after lunch. These mini breaks let your nervous system reset. Rest is not laziness. It's part of self-care. It's how you keep going without burning out. Now let's talk about mental clarity. As we grow older, it's easy to lose track of mental sharpness. But your brain is like a muscle. Use it or lose it. One of the best ways to care for yourself is to keep your mind engaged. That doesn't mean solving complex math problems. It means finding little ways to challenge and stretch your brain every day. Read articles, play word games, learn something new, listen to educational podcasts, try writing in a journal or working through a puzzle. Mental stimulation helps protect memory, improve focus, and keep you connected to the world. And it's not about becoming an expert at something. It's about staying curious. When you feed your curiosity, your brain stays alive and alert. You stay mentally flexible, which is key when life throws unexpected changes your way. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence, being engaged with the moment and interested in the world around you. Let's take a moment to talk about emotional care. This is the part of self-care that often gets ignored, but it might be the most important. Emotional wellness means checking in with yourself regularly, asking, how am I really feeling today, and listening to the answer. Some days, you might feel lonely. Other days, content. Sometimes anxious. Sometimes peaceful. All of it is part of being human. But when you bottle things up or ignore what you're feeling, those emotions don't go away. They just weigh on you quietly. That's why it's helpful to build small habits that help you process what's going on inside. That could be journaling each morning, calling a friend, listening to calming music, or praying or meditating. It's not about fixing every emotion. It's about honoring them. When you take care of your emotional life, you create a stronger foundation for everything else. You also need connection. No one thrives in isolation. We're meant to be seen, heard, and valued by others. As we age, it's easy for social circles to shrink. Friends move. Family gets busy. But that doesn't mean you have to disappear into the background. Make it a point to stay connected. Reach out to an old friend. Join a local group. Chat with a neighbor. Even short, simple conversations can lift your spirit and remind you that you're part of a larger story. And don't underestimate how much you still have to offer. Sharing your experiences, your perspective, and your warmth can brighten someone else's day just as much as it brightens yours. Connection is not just a nice bonus, it's a core part of well-being. So make space for it. Even if you're an introvert, even if you've been burned before, stay open to connection. It nourishes the soul. Let's talk about something that might seem small, but carries a lot of weight: personal hygiene and grooming. As we get older, it can feel like these routines take more effort. Maybe your hands aren't as steady, or your joints make things like trimming nails or washing your hair harder than they used to be. But even with those challenges, staying clean and well-groomed has a huge impact on how you feel about yourself and how others treat you. It's not about looking fancy. It's about showing yourself respect. Taking the time to brush your hair, wash your face, wear clothes that feel good, and care for your body isn't vanity. It's dignity. It's a way of saying, I still matter. I still care about myself. And people notice. You carry yourself differently. Others respond to you differently. You feel more confident and more present in the world. That matters more than people realize. Now, maybe some of your usual routines need to be adjusted. That's perfectly okay. The key is to adapt, not abandon. Use tools that make things easier, like long-handled sponges or electric razors. Set up a regular time to shower or change clothes so it doesn't get pushed aside. And if you need help with something, that's not a failure. That's just wisdom. You don't have to do everything yourself to keep your standards. You just need a plan that fits your reality. Hygiene isn't just physical. It touches your identity and your emotional well-being. So don't skip it. Make it part of your self-care, even on the hard days. Let's move on to another powerful part of self-care that too often gets ignored: asking for help when you need it. Now, this is a tough one. A lot of people, especially older adults, were raised to believe that independence is everything, that needing help means you're weak or that you're losing control. But the truth is, knowing when to ask for help is a strength. It means you know your limits, you're paying attention, and you care enough about your future to take action before things get worse. Whether it's needing a ride to the store, asking someone to bring over a meal, or even reaching out when you're feeling emotionally low, asking for help is not a burden. In fact, most people feel honored to be asked. They want to help. They just need the invitation. You're not taking anything away from others. You're actually offering them something too. A chance to show up, to be useful, to connect. And here's something else that's important. You can ask for help and still be in charge. You're not giving away your independence. You're building a support system around you that helps you keep it. So instead of pushing yourself past your limits, pause and ask, is this something I really have to do alone? If the answer is no, let someone in. Let them share the load with you. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's self-care at its finest. Another key to caring for yourself in old age is having a sense of purpose. This one might not sound like self-care at first, but it absolutely is. When you have something to look forward to, something that gives you meaning, you wake up with more energy, more drive, and a stronger sense of who you are. Purpose doesn't have to be something big. It doesn't mean starting a new career or volunteering every day. It could be as simple as tending a garden, helping raise a grandchild, writing down your life stories, or even just being the one who checks in on your neighbors. Purpose comes from knowing that your life still has impact, that your time still matters, and that your presence still makes a difference. When you feel useful, you feel alive. And when you feel alive, everything else gets easier: your health, your mood, your relationships. So if you've been feeling a little lost or stuck lately, ask yourself, what's something small I can contribute? What's something I care about that I can reconnect with? That one small thing can reignite your spirit in big ways. Let's also talk about creating a steady rhythm in your daily life. Having structure doesn't mean your day has to be rigid or boring. It means your body and mind know what to expect. When you wake up around the same time each day, eat meals on a loose schedule, get some movement, connect with others, and wind down in a predictable way, your nervous system relaxes. You feel safer, more stable, and more grounded. Even little routines can create that kind of balance. Maybe you start your day with a glass of warm water and 5 minutes of stretching. Maybe you always sit by the window at 3 o'clock with a cup of tea. Maybe you say a short prayer or reflection before bed. These moments don't have to be big. They just have to be yours. A steady daily rhythm is like giving your life a gentle heartbeat. It tells your body, we're okay. We've got this. Let's keep going. Let's bring it all together now. Think about everything we've talked about so far. Movement, nourishment, rest, emotional care, connection, hygiene, asking for help, having purpose, and creating rhythm. These aren't separate pieces of self-care. They're all part of the same picture. They work together. And when you focus on them consistently, even in small ways, they begin to support each other. Your energy improves, your mood lifts, your confidence grows, and your life feels more your own. You don't have to master everything at once. Just pick one area that speaks to you right now. Maybe it's making your meals a little simpler and more nourishing. Maybe it's setting a consistent bedtime. Maybe it's reaching out to someone you've been missing. Start there. Let that one change settle in, and then move on to the next. Self-care isn't about overhauling your life overnight. It's about building small, steady habits that make a real difference over time. Now, let's talk about something that often gets pushed to the side: your environment. The space you live in, the rooms you use every day, they shape your mood and your ability to care for yourself. If your home feels cluttered, unsafe, or overwhelming, it can quietly drain your energy and motivation. But when your space feels calm, organized, and welcoming, it becomes a place that supports your health, not one that makes it harder to stay well. You don't have to renovate or redecorate. Start small. Remove things that trip you up or frustrate you. Add brighter lights to areas that feel dark. Make sure the things you use every day, your medications, your clothes, your dishes, are easy to reach. These little adjustments reduce stress and support independence. And beyond safety, bring in things that lift your spirit. A photo that makes you smile, a scent you love, a plant that brings life to the corner of your room. Your home should be your ally in self-care, not a barrier. Now let's shift gears and talk about something deeper: self-talk. How you speak to yourself matters more than most people realize. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm too old for this," "I'm just getting worse," or "what's the point?" those words don't just sit in your head. They shape your behavior. They drain your energy. But if you can shift your inner voice, even a little, the difference can be powerful. Start telling yourself, "I'm learning to care for myself in new ways." Or, "I still have things to enjoy." Or even, "I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough today." Kind, honest self-talk builds resilience. It keeps you going when motivation fades. It makes self-care feel like a gift, not a chore. You don't have to lie to yourself with fake positivity. Just speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you care about. You're not too far gone. You're not behind. You're still here. And that matters. Talk to yourself like it does. Another overlooked part of caring for yourself in older age is protecting your energy. You don't have the same energy reserves you had when you were 30, and that's okay. But that means you have to be smarter about where you invest your time, your focus, and your emotions. If something drains you, whether it's a stressful phone call, noisy environment, or unnecessary obligation, it's worth rethinking. That doesn't mean cutting everything out. It means giving yourself permission to prioritize peace. You have every right to protect your well-being by saying no to things that don't serve you. That could mean setting boundaries with people who bring negativity. It could mean choosing quiet time over a loud event. It could mean turning off the news when it becomes too much. Protecting your peace is part of taking care of yourself. You can still be kind, loving, and supportive without burning yourself out. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup, so fill your own first. We also need to talk about celebration. Celebrating yourself, your progress, And your life isn't just for birthdays or holidays. It's something you can do every day in small, meaningful ways. If you went for a walk this morning, celebrate it. If you chose water instead of soda, celebrate it. If you made it through a hard day without giving up on yourself, celebrate that, too. These moments might seem small to others, but you know what it took to make them happen. And acknowledging your efforts reminds you of your own strength. You're not just getting older, you're becoming more seasoned, more experienced, more aware. That deserves to be honored. Light a candle for yourself. Make your favorite tea. Put on a song you love and move your body a little. Find your own ways to mark the progress, even when no one else is watching. Because you are still evolving. You are still showing up. And that is worth recognizing. Let's pause here and reflect. We've covered a lot, from physical care and mental stimulation to emotional health, inner dialogue, purpose, and rest. But at the heart of it all is one central idea: self-worth. You are not defined by your age. You're not less valuable because your knees hurt or your memory slips. You are a whole person, capable of love, laughter, learning, and legacy. And the more you care for yourself with that truth in mind, the more your days will feel steady, meaningful, and bright. Perfect self-care isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring where you are right now and treating yourself as someone who still matters. Because you do. So, where do you start today? Pick one thing. Just one. Maybe it's drinking more water. Maybe it's putting on a nice shirt even if you're staying home. Maybe it's calling someone you've been thinking about. Or maybe it's writing down one kind thing about yourself. You don't have to do everything at once. You just have to begin. Small actions, done with intention and love, can shift the way your entire day feels. And enough of those days will begin to shape a whole new chapter of life. You deserve to feel well. You deserve to feel seen. And you deserve to feel proud of the way you care for yourself. This isn't the end of your story. It's a new part. One that can be just as rich, just as meaningful, and just as joyful as anything that came before. Before we wrap up, let's talk about something many people avoid in conversations about aging: grief and letting go. Growing older means change, and change often comes with loss. Maybe it's the loss of a job, a role, a partner, a dream, or even a version of yourself you once knew. These experiences leave marks. They shape your identity. And the truth is, they can be heavy. But part of taking perfect care of yourself is giving yourself permission to feel these emotions without rushing through them or pretending they're not there. Grief doesn't mean you're weak. It means you loved deeply. It means you lived fully. And by honoring your grief, instead of hiding it, you give yourself room to heal. That healing is part of self-care. Crying when you need to, talking about what hurts, or simply sitting with your memories. These things matter. You're not broken for feeling sadness. You're human, and you deserve compassion, especially from yourself. Now, as you reflect on what self-care looks like in your current chapter of life, remember this: it's not about comparison. It's not about what others are doing or what you used to do 20 years ago. It's about what works for you right now. There is no one-size-fits-all routine. What matters is that you stay tuned into your needs, that you stay honest about what brings you comfort, energy, and peace, and that you keep showing up for yourself in the ways that matter most. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You've lived a whole life. You've already accomplished more than you probably give yourself credit for. And now, this part of life is about honoring that journey while still leaving room for joy, growth, and discovery. You can create a new rhythm. You can change direction. You can start something new. Even now, one of the most powerful forms of self-care in older age is sharing your wisdom. You've seen so much. You've weathered storms, built relationships, solved problems, and lived through decades of change. That perspective is valuable. It's grounding, and younger generations need it more than they realize. Whether you're sharing a story, offering advice, or just listening without judgment, your presence matters. And here's the thing: when you give, you also receive. Being there for others, mentoring someone, volunteering your time, or simply being available to a friend or neighbor, these acts reinforce your purpose. They connect you to something greater than yourself. And that connection is one of the healthiest, most life-affirming gifts you can give yourself. Another powerful piece of the puzzle is forgiveness. Not just forgiving others, but also forgiving yourself. It's easy to look back on life with regret, to wish you'd made different choices, handled things better, taken different paths. But regret doesn't have to weigh you down. Instead, it can remind you of how far you've come and how much you've learned. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means releasing the constant burden of self-blame. It means acknowledging that you did the best you could with what you had at the time, and that now, with the experience you carry, you can continue forward with grace and understanding. You still have time, not to rewrite the past, but to shape the future. Now, let's revisit something simple, yet profound: joy. Not every moment will be joyful, but even on the hard days, it's possible to reach for something good. It might be a warm cup of coffee on a cold morning, a bird outside your window, a call from a friend, or the laughter that comes unexpectedly when something silly happens. Joy doesn't always arrive with a fanfare. Sometimes it tiptoes in, quiet and small. But if you're paying attention, you'll see it. And choosing to notice those small joys, to hold on to them, is an act of defiance against despair. It's a way of saying, I still see beauty here. I still believe this life is worth living well. If you've made it this far in the video, it means you care. You care enough about yourself, and maybe someone you love, to think deeply about what it means to age with strength, clarity, and peace. And that care, that awareness, that willingness to show up, is the beginning of perfect self-care. So let's bring it all together. Taking perfect care of yourself in old age isn't about having the best health, the perfect routine, or never needing help. It's about listening to your body, honoring your emotions, protecting your peace, and continuing to grow. It's about showing up for yourself every single day in the ways that count. And it's about remembering that you're still writing your story with intention, wisdom, and heart. And as you move through this next week, I encourage you to choose one thing from this video. Just one. Maybe it's adjusting your routine. Maybe it's reconnecting with someone. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and speaking kindly to yourself for the first time in a long time. Whatever it is, choose it, commit to it, and let it remind you of the power you still have. You don't need to be perfect to care for yourself perfectly. You just need to be present and willing and loving toward yourself, because you still matter. Your life still matters, and there is still more good ahead. Thank you for spending your time with us today. We're honored to walk beside you in this part of your journey. Remember, it's never too late to choose care, to choose growth, and to choose joy. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.